Hey there. You know, a year ago, I did a review on those two microplays by My Arcade. And those are the Pac-Man and Galaxian ones. Both of these were really cool for collectors. And funny enough, they're based on their American arcade cabinets. But in this time, and also recently I did that mini player review, these are arcade ROMs. But it's very expensive. But what if you combine two of them? A microplayer that is cheap, and with mini player like, well, this. That's right, Space Invaders microplayer from My Arcade. Yeah. This one is one of the coolest things ever. I got this off of Amazon for like $40. This thing costs around $40. Let's see what's introduced in. I think this was released in 2019 or... Yep, it was released in 2019. Which was released last year. Yeah. And this one, it's the first Mario Arcade microplayer to be based on its Japanese cabinet rather than the international one. Now, if you don't know, Space Invaders was one of the most popular video games of all time. It was so popular, in fact, it was so popular in Japan. The 100 yen coins were being shorted, which caused the mint to double on them. Anyway, down to history, let's open this up. Inside we get another advertisement for more microplayers in the form of a poster. What they have so far is coming soon, which are premium edition. And this one's premium edition. Which means they're cooler, but more expensive. There's one for Street Fighter 2, Contra, and Speed. And also, on the back, you'll see advertisements for Pocket players, which include they include 3 things. Well, except for that one base. And the one that Dokudon was actually a stolen fan translation. So, yeah. And anyway, now here's the manual, the user's guide. And like most Mario Arcade microplayers, this one will run on either 4 AA batteries or an AC power source. And here's the model itself. Wow, this looks very cool already. Let's adjust the camera a bit so I can tell you more about it. Okay, well, here's some... See, it looks very cool. I'm going to take an overview. Here we have is a little micro switch joystick. I like how it's actual joystick and not the D-pad and slash buttons combo. Not that. Which, to be honest, using that combo feels very more comfortable. And then we have a fire button. Whoa, that looks very cool. Then we have a reset button. Now, this is the first ever Mario Arcade microplayer to feature 2-player compatibility on the same microplayer. Oh, in case you're wondering why my tongue is blue today, I actually had a snow cone. So yeah. And this might be, separate for 1 and 2 players. Earlier ones actually features a start. And then we have a front-facing speaker and not the back one. And then we have a 100 yen coin. Yeah, you remember those? They're like the Japanese equivalent of a quarter. And an A for Smash. Okay. Now let's peel this thing off. Wow, that looks cool. Would you look at this? looks hollow. Hollow. Yeah. That's the reason why it's so long compared to other microplayers. Now, let's view the back. On the back we have a headphone jack, a volume up and volume down, a battery cover for AA batteries, and an AC power port. For the rest of this review, I'll be using the AC power port. And one of the coolest things is that it uses a micro USB connector, which makes them easy to find. And in fact, I have this old one, which originally belongs to my parents, before I even got a phone. Yeah. Anyway, enough talk. Let's see how it works. Okay, let's plug this thing in. And here goes. Okay, I know you can't see the screen, but look at that, it's reflected. You can't see the screen very well. So, let's adjust the angle a bit. I know this looks very horrible, but it looks better in person than it does on camera. But look, this one is really based off of the arcade ROM and not the NES port. And believe it or not, this was actually the first My Arcade microplayer to feature an arcade ROM and rather than an NES port. As there's a new model coming out called the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary Gold Edition. And unlike this one, this will cost $40. Oh, and a little tip. If you have that, do not repeat. Do not sell it on eBay for hundreds of dollars. Just because it's gold doesn't mean it's worth all that money. Oh shoot, the UFO's here. Anyway, this one looks really cool. So, Hey, what's up? Okay. Let's adjust the camera a bit. So, final verdict? Well, this microplayer is a really cool piece. And yeah, if you want to play Space Invaders at home, that's the actual arcade game, I recommend this. If you're low on cash. You can go for the arcade 1-up version, but come on, those things were expensive, so... And this thing looked really cool. Has an actual yen button, a front-facing speaker, 2-player functionality, a real joystick. Yeah, and if you're a collector of Coleco mini arcades, you might find this joystick, but this one looks really cool. Yeah. Now, interesting about Space Invaders, I first played that on the original Game Boy, from the original Game Boy. Now, I'm talking about the original Game Boy version. And guess what? That version actually has a special feature. If you play that, put it on a Super Game Boy, it will become an SNES game. That's right, a Game Boy game that has a secret SNES game. But some Game Boy games are designed for Super Game Boy. And there's only one Game Boy Color game that are designed for Super Game Boy. It's A Bug's Life. It features SNES soundtrack. That's right. That game is the only Game Boy Color game to work on the game. on the Super Game Boy. Anyway, Space Invaders. I actually played Space Invaders again, but this time it's more of a arcade shooter map at Dave & Buster's. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I went to Dave & Buster's I actually got some prizes at Dave & Buster's, which I'll talk about at a later date. And I love playing these arcade games. And I love playing some of those arcade games. Most notably the world's largest Pac-Man. That was very fun. See how huge it was? I should get to more playing of arcade games at Dave & Buster's once this whole pandemic ends. Then it will be a anti-pandemic. Ugh, great, I can't do that joke. Anyway, that's it. Now, as for collectability, it's a collector's piece. Yeah. I hope my arcade got attention. Yeah. Okay, there's something I completely forgot to mention about something. Why you can't? Well, that's because, look at that. It turns out the screen is actually a mirror. The actual screen's over here. And this projects the green base. The white part, I think, and the other projector is white. And that purple part, which projects the little UFO that appears. Wow. They really recreated the arcade experience! I'm kind of amazed by arcade. You really recreated what Space Invaders used to look like. I like how you went with design over... I like how you went with quality over quantity. Or, arcade over... Oh, that joke did not work very well. No wonder why it's very wide. Yeah. I wonder if there really was a Space Invaders game on the NES. If they just used that version, it would have been... Wait. Let's look that up. Invaders. Well, there was an NES version of Space Invaders, but that version does, even though it looks like your arcade version, it does not feature the fancy colors. So I guess that's the reason why my arcade used the arcade ROM. Instead, they really did though, as they recreated the real Space Invaders experience.